Hi guys, it's Henry from IFE here. So today I just want to quickly cover part 2 of what we were talking about the UK pension transfers for expats into a SIPP or even a QROPs if you're in the kind of European area. So what should you choose as a platform? So we sorted out the trust. What is a better platform for you? So you have two options. You've got an offshore bond option that you can use or a platform. So firstly, the offshore bond options, what are these? So these are usually done by large companies, mainly UK companies, OMI, French Providence, Royal London, usually have tens of billions under management or they're a subsidiary of these. Normally based in the Isle of Man, they normally offer kind of trust wrapping, so they have good trust options, and they're usually pretty stable. So that's one of the selling points. What are the disadvantages of these? They are very expensive. They usually, if you look at all the fees, without the advisor fees, they come into around, can be 3-4% a year at the high end. At the low end, you're looking even at 2%. Adding on advisor fees, they are looking at 3%. So these are normally used for personnel with the net worth of over £500,000. Add to that because then it makes the fees worthwhile from inheritance tax perspective. You can wrap in a trust, and they do offer some value for the higher net worth. So for the platforms, like we said before, you have some cheaper options. They are coming in the international sector, a lot more competitive with the UK sector. They're still not as cheap, but you can get for 0.5 to 1% that I think is quite competitive with when you have the fund options as well. They can be based in a number of locations: Luxembourg, Singapore, Isle of Man as well, Cayman Islands, Labuan in Malaysia. So you do have a range of options. They're usually holding a bit less assets under management. So, for example, they're having 100 million or less, so they don't have the kind of stability of the big UK brand names normally as well in them. So what are my top picks? So if I was going to have a bond option, so if you've got a high net worth, it would be, as a general sense, for generic formula, obviously not everyone's generic, is Royal London. The PIMS do a good bond option. Again, it's not the cheapest. It does come with 10 free dealings. It does have the ability to wrap into a trust, and they have a reasonable fund range. Again, it's not the cheapest. There is establishment fees, there is annual management fees. It works out to be around 2% a year, so it's definitely not one for looking for the kind of DIY stuff. But for a higher net worth investor, maybe you've got $1 million there, you want it in a trust, you want it out of the UK tax system from inheritance tax, you want to kind of make sure the estate planning's there. It's not a bad option. For platforms, there's a lot of platforms. Personally, I like a few with a good solid jurisdiction, so places like Luxembourg, Isle of Man. They have an open fund range, a lot of them these days, so you have access to unlimited funds that mainly I don't use, but it is good to have the options. If anyone had a client recently wants to go into a oil fund that's just not available in certain amounts of the offshore platform, so it is good to have those options. So few I do like. Liking the likes of Nedbank, Nova, Capital Platforms, the Investors Trust, Arden, that is also done by RL. They're all platforms that I'd be happy to use in the setup. So if you do have one of these, or you are considering to move your UK pension overseas and want to look at the options, feel free to get in touch. We're happy to have a kind of 15-minute call with you to look at the options. It's info@investmentsforexpats.com. Thanks guys.